US Open with JP Fruttero. So, JP, to us, your life seems pretty glamorous on tour, but tell us, what is it really like on tour? The worst, the best?
It's pretty crazy. It's definitely not for everyone. For me, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a pro tennis player, and it was my dream, but I didn't really know what that entailed until I went to college tennis, and I was way too skinny, way too young. I needed to kind of put some meat on my bones and kind of get a feel for what I wanted to do for myself. And then as I kind of went, I took a semester off, I played on the tour, kind of did the grind a little bit. And you go to tough countries, you know, I've been to Nigeria, I've been to Uzbekistan, I've been to a lot of places where you think twice about playing tennis and, you know, life situations. But at the end of the day, for me, it's been awesome. You know, I've been to 43 countries, you know, not too many people at, you know, 30 can say that. And it's awesome, you know, a lot of life experiences, you meet a lot of people all over the world, and I think it teaches you a lot about, you know, kind of street smarts, you know, where school kind of teaches you school smarts, and, you know, you're very book smart and all these things, but at the end of the day, you kind of have communication skills that you build and all these things where it kind of like shatters your little box, and it kind of forces you to kind of open up and, you know, become yourself and mature a little bit.
That's awesome. What's the favorite city that you visited?
I don't know about city. I guess London's up there. It's got just tons of history all over the place, but and also just for museum. But I mean, I've been to New Zealand, which is phenomenal, just for natural beauty. I went to Thailand. I went to the Phi Islands, which is a phenomenal place in Phuket. So it's just kind of cool. I mean, as a tennis player, you don't really get to see that many places, but I try to make it an effort to see something and either stay with locals. I'm very sick of hotels, and just get a feel for the culture, the people, and, you know, just don't feel like you're always on the road by yourself, because it can be very lonely, and, you know, especially if you're not traveling with a coach. So I always try to have some friends.
Yeah. And when you travel, do you hang out with other players? Are you close to other players, or do you have your own group that you hang out with?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, for me, I feel like you get a lot of the same players that play, more regional players. You get a lot of players like from North America, they'll play North America, South America. You can have the Asia players, and you can have the European players. For me, I'm in California, so it's much easier for me to fly to Asia or fly to South America. For me, it's very difficult to go to Europe. It's just incredibly tough, jet lag and stuff. So.
And what's the most nervous you've ever been for a match, and how did you deal with those nerves?
Pretty close. I want to say is when I played Pete Sampras here in Newport Beach. It was his return after he won the US Open World Team Tennis, and I played him in a sold-out crowd there in Newport, and it was pretty crazy because it was packed house, sold out I think like a month before a match, and we were the last event. I don't know if you're familiar with the format, but it's a team format, and all the points count, and basically it came down to the last event. I'm playing Sampras. I think my team was up by one game, so basically the winner of that event wins the whole thing. And Billie Jean King was there. I mean, it was pretty crazy. And then I actually hit a second serve ace on match point to win the whole thing. And kind of the whole place just like so quiet. You hear a pin drop.
That's awesome.
And I thought I was gonna get killed, but luckily I was still in one piece. But yeah, it was fun. It was cool.
So do you do anything to like control your nerves? Any superstitions?
Well, for me, I think nerves is natural. I think nerves. For me, if I go to a match where I'm not nervous, it's probably a time where I should probably think about retiring, because I think it means you care. It means it's really about how you funnel it, how you control it, things that you do. I think every person's different, but for me, I just tend to move my feet more. I take a couple of deep breaths. I think about what I'm trying to do so I can get a little bit more confidence, and I just move around. I sweat. I do a little dynamic or whatever it is that kind of gets you to burn that nervous energy and almost in a sense hone yourself in so that you can kind of tunnel it in a positive way.
Yeah. And before a match, do you have a routine or anything special that you eat to prepare yourself?
Not really. I have general kind of guidelines that I do. I try to just stick with carbs and protein. I try not to eat too heavy, especially the night before or the day of. In terms of meats, red meat, I kind of stay away from red meats. I just stick with, you know, chicken or turkey or sandwiches, pasta, something light where it gives you the energy, but it's almost like you still want to be a little bit hungry, so it's like you still have the energy and the want to be out there, because otherwise you can feel heavy and then you're feeling slow, and that's kind of a recipe for a disaster. So.
And do you have a skill or a tip that you'd like to pass on to junior players?
Well, for me as a junior, I mean, I was pretty lucky. I was #1 in the U.S. in the 16s, and played Junior Davis Cup and all that stuff. And For me, I always felt like I needed to work hard on the court. I needed to show it to everyone, and I was grunting very loud. I was working very hard, and I felt like that was something that I needed to show to everyone. And I think in actuality, it kind of hurt me a little bit because I feel like, if you watch someone like Federer, all the best movers in the world, they're really not grunting that much. They're really not going that crazy. They make the game look easy, and it's almost like a smoother, silkier way out there. So I think there's a way that you can kind of be relaxed, but yet be engaged and be able to kind of be smooth on the court and execute the way you want to execute and make the game look easy. And then making it look easy, in essence, you're actually working really hard. It's the only way to make the game look easy. So there's a way for you to kind of gather from that side, and I think every person is different, but there's different ways to get at it, whether it's relaxing more, whether it's just, people tend to, crunch up and their shoulders are very scrunched up versus like being more relaxed here, so that kind of allows you to be more free and empty on your stroke. So if you can kind of go towards that, I would encourage it.
That's excellent advice. Thank you for talking with us, JP, and good luck on your tour.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you.